Bro, what is up, my G?
How are we, Regan?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
Great, man. Never been better.
Thank you for coming. It's been one of the most asked for podcasts since we first started doing the podcast. Went out and spent $1 gazillion on equipment and did a few podcasts, and then they got a bit of hype, and then I totally fell off for months and months and months. That equipment is now being lent out, and we've got Cam behind the camera over there with this microphone, so hopefully the audio quality is good enough for you guys. If it's not, you can blame Cam Vilnis Lawrence. But I'm here with Kai Saunders. We are at Syndicate Store. This is the Syndicate Podcast. We are only going to attempt to even scratch the surface today. Consider this part one. This dude's story is just too long. It spans too many years to even think of trying to put it into one podcast. Before we do get into too much, I've got just a couple questions to get things flowing, get the conversation going. Who knows, this might take up the whole hour slot that we've even got for today. So this could be part one of 3, 4, 5.
Who knows?
There's no particular order to these questions, so it's a kind of random as hell one, like straight up junk food or health food.
Junk food for health or health food for me personally?
Yeah, what's your vibe?
What's my vibe? I feel like, for me personally, with my eating habits, I'd say I'm like in the happy medium. There are a lot of ways I feel like I could improve my eating habits, but overall, I definitely would prefer healthy food over unhealthy food, and I've definitely noticed me getting that way as I've gotten a little bit older. Like, for example, fast food places, they just weigh you down. You can't eat those while you're out riding. It's just not substantial, and it just makes you feel fat.
Because I see it on your story, you know, that maybe when you're in Sydney more, you're getting hookups for, you know, the burgers and fries and stuff like that. And it's like, how does this dude do what he does on a scooter and eat what he's eating in these things? But I guess maybe that's at the end of the day.
Yeah,
at the end of the riding day. Treat yourself with some junk food. So I guess that's more of, like a diet question. You mentioned getting older, I suppose. I mean, that's not even in there. Are you comfortable telling the people how old you are? Is that a thing?
Of course, I've got nothing to hide.
Some people keep that low key, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm actually turning 22 at the end of this month, 28th of February. And big things.
We could even mention what we're. Will this come out before then? Maybe it won't. Maybe who knows?
Okay.
So,
we'll keep that.
Something on the park or street.
Park or street, for me personally, has always obviously been street, because that's just my favorite thing to ride. You know, you can add so much creativity and originality with street spots and the tricks you do. But I do feel like as scootering progresses, hybrid is where it's at as far as like the trick bags people have, and just like the kind of way scootering's kind of going. I definitely see that being like the future. A lot of the up and coming riders are just killing it being those hybrid riders. But not personally a big fan of park for myself, but at the end of the day, I respect
like doing it yourself.
For myself.
You're not
being a park rider.
Can you butter?
I can buttercup.
Okay. You can do.
I started riding park before I went street, so I've got the fundamentals and stuff. But definitely, as far as it goes, just as scootering wise though, I mean, I back anything that anyone enjoys.
Of course.
You know, whatever you want to ride, whatever style.
For sure. It's more you. What do you know? If you're like, I'm going for a day of scooter riding, are you? And I mean, I guess this is a double question, because so say you ride when you do ride skate parks, you're kind of still doing what we know as street riding at a skate park. So if you could go out and hit the streets, or if you could go to a mad plaza. Bracken Ridge.
Okay, so that's what we're kind of saying.
Well, I'm just flipping it, you know.
Yeah.
What's that?
In that case, depends what I've got planned, but typically, if I'm not like filming a YouTube video or like park clips at street spots, I typically do like to ride skate parks more, for the reason being everything's just like perfect. It's the place to learn tricks, you know what I mean? And then you can bring that to the skate, what you learn in the skate parks to the street spots.
Of course.
So that's how I kind of view that,
Good. What do we got next? Oh, man, I'm firing these at you. Instas or clips?
Or park clips? Instagram clips or park clips?
I guess so, you know, Instas or clips. It's got to be clips. It's always... Clips is the if you're a street rider, the ultimate goal is a good clip.
Of course.
One good clip could... I mean, I'm answering the question for you, but I mean, for me, one good clip could just fulfill me for a month.
Yeah, definitely.
Months.
Definitely. Yeah, well, for me personally, I kind of like to chip away at it all.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to what I'm more satisfied in and what I like working towards more, definitely get more fulfillment out of like working hard for a trick that's going to go into a project that I'm going to be putting a lot more work into.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's
I
a little
agree.
more fulfilling and stuff like that. But
for sure.
of course, can't
knock the Insta.
Yeah, can't knock the Instas back. I'm an Insta man. I love it.
You are one of the few of the, in my opinion, you know, elite street elite. I can't believe I just used that word, but you know, like super gnarly street riders that does full part after full part after full part, and then also go on his Instagram. You're not like, you know, a ghost on Instagram. Like you know, a lot of riders, you know, the more known they are for their parts, it's like the less known they are for Instas.
Definitely.
Whereas you're like boom up there on both of them. Your Instas are top of the game. Your video parts are top of the game. So,
well, thank you, Regan. I really appreciate that.
You know, me and Kai, we know each other pretty well, obviously.
Of course.
You know, I think that about you. Okay. This is a silly question. I don't even know why I put that on there. Warm up or no warm up? You got to warm up.
Oh, you got to warm up. You got to warm up.
What's a warm up look like for you? Then I'll flip the question.
A warm up looking like, for me, if I'm going to like a street spot or something, I'd like to have like a little hour session at the skate park just to kind of get the muscles moving, the legs warmed up and stuff. Because when you wake up in the morning, you can't stiff. You know what I mean? So you will always want to get a warm up before you're throwing yourself down stair sets. But typically, just doing like a few basic tricks. That's really all you need. A bit of stretching, of course. You know? I could do a lot more of that myself, but
do you have to ride a park before going to a spot?
No, I don't have to.
Okay,
I definitely don't have to. But
I mean, it's half the time you end up taking too long if you go to a park before a spot.
Exactly. There's pros and cons to both. But I mean, I'm happy to. You know, if there's like, for example, we're going to a street spot or something, there's usually always somewhere that you can kind of warm up and ride, even if it just be flat. You know what I mean?
Do 100 tail whips in a row, I guarantee you'll be like
ready to sweating.
Yeah, be ready to hit some.
You'd be ready to go for sure.
Grip or slip? So this is Cam thought of this one.
Interesting.
You know, it's the lesser of two evils. Gripping sucks. Slipping sucks. Grip or slip.
As funny as this sounds, I thought you were talking about grip tape or no grip tape, which is so stupid. But now I get what you're saying. Grip or slip.
That is pretty silly.
I love myself a buttery handrail, you know what I mean? With no restrictions when you're doing those combos. You don't want to be slowed down. You just want to be gliding across that rail. So I'd definitely say slip.
No, I mean like if you're eating
grip or slip
if you're eating shit. Yeah, of course everyone prefers a slide.
Okay.
A more see, weird question.
Okay, now I see what you're saying.
Because it's not positive or negative. It's like two negatives. Which one do you hate more? Do you hate, you know, gripping? I can die by gripping or die by slipping. Death by grip or death by slip?
I'd say death by slip
is worse.
I'd say death by slip.
Slipping out because it's so much more uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Slipping.
I feel like gripping's a little more uncontrollable because if you slip out, you know what I mean, you can kind of like, you're not as far through it or something like that, or if you slip out of a trick, it's like...
It's such a head F of a question because they're both so bad. Slipping, you know, when you talk about slipping out, it's the most uncontrollable, scary thing.
Definitely.
And you're normally falling back
100%,
when you're slipping out, or if you're front boarding, you know, but a grip is just like, oh man, you can get pumped on a grip.
Yeah.
But you got to pick one, which is worse.
I'd say gripping would be worse. Yeah.
Gripping's worse. Yeah.
Like...
rather fall back and catch yourself, or at least try than fall forward
and like slip out. Because I'm picturing being on a kink rail. You know what I mean? You're going through the kink and like slipping out. I feel like you can kind of catch yourself a lot better than if you grip. You're going down.
No, that's good. I'm glad you got
always
to the bottom.
Always make sure the rail is waxed.
The whale is waxed when you're whaling the boxes on the scales.
Exactly.
Rail waxed. Wax rail. Whale wax.
Tongue twister.
We should do a thing. Whale wax. Long lens or fisheye?
Ooh. Depends who's behind the lens, okay? If you know you have a trusty filmer that is not head chopping, that is keeping you in the center.
So not Cam. You can't have Cam.
You can't have Cam on the fisheye.
Jokes. That's an old joke. Cam is the best filmer you're ever going to find.
I'd definitely say when it... like if you have trust in your filmer and you know that they're going to get it right the first time, because typically if you're filming like a fisheye clip, you know what I mean, it's going to be something pretty difficult.
I filmed you do very hard tricks multiple times.
Yeah, I've been in the situation where I've had to fly back to a state to redo a manual clip before, and it's been kind of full on. But so yeah, you want to make sure.
Sorry. Flying back to States, from Sydney back to Queensland to
Yes.
refilm a clip. That's just its own.
That's its own story.
Whole thing.
Right
That's
there, yeah.
I think we've even spoke about on the podcast on other episodes talking about you, maybe Dylan's podcast.
Oh,
he was filming you, I was filming you. Anyway, this man will fly to different states for singular clips that he's already filmed.
Oh my god, I go crazy on it sometimes.
But okay, you've got your preferred filmers of all disciplines there.
Mhm.
Fisheye, long lens. Fisheye?
Yeah, definitely fisheye.
You've got, that is long lens more, okay, if I'm rolling with a crew that maybe there's not a specialised fisheye filmer with us today, you still get clips, but you'll be like, no fish, let's
Probably
just get this
would
on
hold
long.
back on the fisheye, yeah. I feel like the long lens is
Much safer.
much safer to do, yeah.
Fisheye is...
It's a skill.
That's a whole ball game. I've gone through periods of thinking I'm the best fisheye filmer in the world, and then periods where I don't want to film anyone because I'm scared of messing it up because I'm so unsure of myself. Are you a good filmer? Have you filmed riders with the fish, and does your pickiness and specificness of what you want from filming translate to you being a
I
really
definitely
good
like to
filmer?
think so. I definitely like to think so because me, myself, I've been behind cameras for so long. So obviously definitely know how they work and how to film and stuff like that. And then me being so particular too, at least with myself, I definitely know how I would like certain things done and stuff like that.
For sure.
And typically a lot of them are quite traditional and stuff like that. It's nothing too much going on. So I feel like I can translate that into filming quite well, and obviously it does come into a lot of practice too, which I don't really have because I don't film all the time. So I feel like a happy balance of me practicing and stuff. Honestly, I could see myself being a great filmer.
I reckon I could pass you the camera and be like, get this clip for me if you can.
Well, let's just say long lenses got down pat.
Of course,
standard fisheye got down pat, but when it comes to the lines, that's there's some real skill in there.
Yeah,
some real skill.
All right, favorite park on Earth.
Favorite park on Earth?
Earth, not Australia.
Any skate park that I can choose.
You've ever been to anywhere you've ever been? If you were stuck at one skate park for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would definitely be Woodward
I was thought
East.
you were going to say that.
That's
actually, not
one.
stuck there for the rest of your life, but just okay, next week we can go to any skate park for the day. Would it still be the same?
I think it would still be Woodward. Definitely. That's just insane. Absolutely insane.
I've never been to America, so I've never been to Woodward. What are we talking about? For the folks who don't know, if there's anyone like me who's not been there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you ever remember that?
What's Woodward?
It's the place to be for action sports, and for starters, obviously, there's a lot of different ones. But the Woodward East, the one in Pennsylvania, that's actually I'm pretty sure. Don't correct me.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct me if I am wrong.
Yeah.
But I believe that was the first Woodward.
Okay.
And that's the one that they did the TV shows at as well. So that's the most iconic one.
Yeah.
And I'm not too sure if that was the first one or there was others or whatever the case may be, but that is the biggest one.
Yeah.
So it's just warehouses of just skate parks on this huge
property.
Yeah, huge
Don't they
property.
have horses? And
they've got horse riding. They've got gymnastics in there. There's so much stuff.
Vert ramps, bowls, street plazas, box jumps,
parkour courses.
Okay,
crazy
just
stuff.
Motorbikes.
There's dirt tracks and stuff, but I'm not too sure about that.
But for a scooter, there's every type of thing you could imagine.
There's 10 skate parks in there. Outdoor, indoor, it's insane.
Makes sense that is your favourite park on Earth, but what is your favourite spot on Earth? Can be one you've been eyeing off and haven't even gone to yet, or it could be something that someone else hit and you haven't even hit yet.
Damn.
But maybe that makes it too easy, or too hard. What's your favourite spot?
Damn, I've been to a lot of gem spots.
You've been to a lot of spots.
I've been to a lot of
10
good
years
spots.
of riding street all over the world.
Definitely. But I'm trying to think of some of those extendo rails that I've rode. There are some just... Actually, I would say the best spot off the top of my head, there's probably a few others that could come to mind if I thought about this for ages, but it would be the Tom K kink rail that he whip boarded, that I did a front 50 full whip on.
Is
it's
that
a
one
down
that
flat
goes
down.
down and then it's just a little flat?
No, it's a down flat down.
Okay.
And the last down's longer than the first down, but it's into a house. It's the first ever
I know the one.
he whip boarded.
Yeah.
That's in
and that was also groundbreaking for Scootering when
revolutionary
he did that
for
Tom
sure.
K,
But that is the best kink rail I've ever been to. It's just
Looks weird how it's like landing into a house and stuff though. That's the best because it's mellow.
It starts behind the stair set,
Yeah,
so it's
easy to
just
get on.
really low,
Yeah,
like really low.
Yeah. And what trick of yours on this?
That I did?
Yeah.
I did a front 50 full whip down it in like 2019.
Front 50 down flat.
Down to full whip out, yeah.
2019.
Mhm.
How wide was your deck at that time?
It would have been.
What were you on? What deck were you on?
I was on
You were
a.
on a native.
Yeah, I was on
Yeah,
the
you
native.
had
I was on the
to be
native.
native.
It would have been like
Was that
the.
really your trip with Nathan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
See, that's how bad my memory is. Just so you know, the years.
Yeah.
2019. Of course, you were on.
Yeah, I would have been on like the 5.1.
Oh, original.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would have been. Well, what was next after that? It was
Advent 2 5.5.
Yeah.
So it might have been in 5.5.
It could have been the 5.5
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if it was the 5.5.
Originally, you were getting the 23s and cutting them down to the 5.1 by 23 and cutting them down.
Yeah.
The Advent one.
That's right. Yeah.
History. Oh. That's the favourite clip you've ever done. What's your most hated clip you've ever done? Now that's loaded because it could be like because you stack there. It could be.
Or was that
it's
question
so
my favorite
hard.
clip?
Oh wait! That was favourite spot on earth. Was that kink rail?
Yeah.
I skipped one. Favorite clip you've ever done. What's your favorite clip you've ever done?
Damn, it would either be the manual to lip slide that I did in the
I know. Yeah.
at the end of my signature
Gap
deck video,
to-
just because
yeah.
of the whole process of it and how beat I got for it and
Getting
like
bodied.
the area that it was into and who
Yeah.
I was with. It was just
What was the area?
it was in Baltimore.
Is that
And
hell
with
hell
Logan
gnarly?
Fuller, really, really gnarly. It's
Okay.
like it just reminded me of like a third world country.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
But there's like boards on windows. There was like no shoot zones on walls. There was like gangsters everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like the population
I
is
would like to
either
think everywhere's a no shoot zone.
yeah, but like
You
it's
know,
to the point. It's
Jesus.
like you'd hope so, but it's
Yeah.
to the point where like there's
They
probably
have
that
an
many
understanding
shootings.
where they're like, all right, we're always shooting people, but like let's not shoot in this area.
Yeah.
That's wild, bro.
It's crazy.
I haven't been
But it was
to
to the-
America. I haven't seen shit like that.
Yeah, I'd love to
Been
go
some
back.
sketchy shit in France, but
Ooh.
not that sketchy. There wasn't
Yeah.
no shoot zones.
Yeah, this was definitely the sketchiest place that I'd
Yeah.
been to. It was like Logan made it known that like you would not want to go there without anyone that knows their way around
like he
places.
was your like protection, like make sure we don't go down the wrong street. Kind
Yeah.
of
Because
stuff.
what's interesting is I remember he actually in Baltimore he lived there for like 2 years and he
Mm.
worked as a flower dude
Mm.
delivering flowers for like he was telling me like funerals and all that kind of thing and like
flower delivery, man.
yeah, and he'd
What an
find
amazing-
he'd find so many spots that way and that's
Yeah,
how he knew
yeah.
so much about like the area and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'd say that was like my favorite, or one that's in a video that I'm working on right now that is not out.
Oh,
so
you can't. I was going to
can't
say
leak
you're going
it.
to have to pick one. So for now, we'll say it's the one in Baltimore.
Yeah, we'll say that one.
Manny Gap to the rail.
we'll keep them on edge. I've got some good stuff coming.
Is that also your most hated clip? Oh. Just to back before, my thoughts on gripping, at least with gripping, you know you're getting bodied. The second you grip, you're dead, bro.
Wouldn't you
But-
want to roll the dice though?
But with slipping, there's this millisecond where the fear is just so high. Just when you slip and you just enter zero gravity, that fear alone is worse than the pain from gripping. I'm going to say I'd rather grip because at least I know what I'm fucking in for. You know, like a slip is too much. Up
You'd
in
rather
the
know
air.
what's going to happen
Yeah.
than take the chance.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I feel it.
I don't know. Maybe I could talk about just gripping or slipping for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But we were up to your most hated clip, weren't we?
Yeah.
Did your favourite? Yeah. Did your favourite spot on earth? Favourite clip you've ever done? Now, most hated clip. Finally, we're trying to get to the most hated clip. Have you had a chance to think about it amongst that little intermission?
I did. So I think my most hated clip would either be the manual to lip slide for what I went through to get it, or the fakie hanger.
Even though it's your favourite clip, it could also be your most hated.
Yeah, it was like a love-hate relationship with that
spot,
clip. But
sure.
maybe even this fakie hanger that I did in Portland too, which I just kept getting beat up on. Or it would be
Sorry, fakie hanger.
down this like 16.
That's like a segment on our podcast. I don't know if you know.
Oh, the fakie hanger thing.
Hurricane or fakie hanger.
Yeah.
You're going to have to give us a bit more info on this fakie hanger.
Okay.
What is a fakie hanger?
Well, personally,
Wouldn't it be like a hanger, but you approach the rail in fakie and then hop up into a
I'd call that
hanger?
a fakie to fakie hanger.
fakie to fakie hanger? Nice. Yeah.
So I guess for me, a fakie hanger is a fakie hanger. So
But
basically,
you come up normal, spin around like you're going into a hurricane, but don't hurricane. You drop down a hanger and
you lock it in and keep it hung. So
I think I agree. I think there's
But the weird thing is, no one does those back hurricane ones. You know what I mean?
No one does them like in a back hurricane.
Like how can
no,
people
because
say...
that's just a hurricane, and that's where the whole thing's confused. You know.
True.
Like...
Well, in that sense, then I would call the non-locked backside ones also a fakey hang up, but then I'd call the locked-in ones still just a hurricane.
Mm.
So that's my thought on them. I don't think they're European grinds or whatever people like refer to them as. I still believe that they are hurricanes.
Yeah.
But then if you hang it, I believe
you just call
that becomes a fakey hanger.
Yeah,
like I don't think we have to like follow skateboards to the point where it's called like What do they call it on skateboards? It's
hurricane.
A hurricane, yeah. Like I don't like we
hurricane,
don't have trucks.
Sugarcane, you know.
You know what I mean? Like I get people trying to make it, you know, cool
our
and match, but
our wheels in the middle, like a bike, whereas on a skateboard you've got wheels on either side.
Exactly.
Hold you on, so it's like there's some differences.
Yeah.
Some differences.
I feel like they're two whole different grinds.
Imagine a hard reset where we like reset all scooter trick names and they do not reflect anything from anything else. So you know, like a 5.0, you just call it like a, I don't know, like a dropout stander. Stander.
Dropout slide.
You know, it's not a 5.0, it's not an ice pick, it's
a
dropout slide, left side dropout slide. Front.
Even
front side, back side, like nah, get rid of that.
Get rid of it all.
We're getting sidetracked. Sorry for that little intermission. HD or SD?
Now, for me, I love HD. Personally, I don't see the point in filming in SD when you can get a better quality video in HD. I understand, you know, how it comes off and how it looks. I respect it. I respect it, of course.
Because I mean, Cam, our guy over here, he's a film buff himself. Not with the camera, not with the video cameras, but with the photo cameras. And you still respect the.
I still respect it.
SD. You know, some SD man. Alien Workshop, Minefield, old skate video.
There's a few things that I just don't like, you know.
A lot of all old skate videos.
Yeah. Like for example with VXs, I know you can get SD cameras that, you know, don't run on tapes or whatever the case may be.
Well, now there's like some adapters people put, and
but
it's
like
just because they want that look,
the whole thing with like it being so hard to like watch over your clips and then also like just the tape heads.
How are you gonna make sure you're in the middle?
Yeah, how am I going to make sure we're centered and not headshot? You just got to go home and just find out then. But I was happy to at least do one project in SD, and I feel like that's
Which one was that?
The Coalition 2019 one.
I knew that. I was just making sure.
That Matteo filmed. Yeah. So I was super happy to film in HD for a video. The fact that I've done it and stuff. But I think for future, SD.
Yeah.
But I think for future stuff, for me personally, I love HD
for life. Yeah,
of course.
For sure. That's cool. And I mean, with the way HD is going now, you can get some just crazy. And I mean, it's becoming easier and easier for a chill HD setup to be amazing.
Exactly.
Like it's not, you know, back in the day, the cameras, SD cameras were what was available.
That's why everyone kind of like
cheap and
fell to SD a lot. I feel.
Well,
to some degree.
People like skateboarders, maybe not always the most richest people in society that wouldn't be able to drop thousands and thousands on new HD cameras. Imagine when HD cameras would have been first coming out, they would have been crazy, and there would have been all these SD cameras like floating around as the way we can go and get a film camera from Cashies for $10.
Literally,
you know,
literally.
So maybe that's a connection.
The availability.
Why it became so prominent.
Of course. Completely respect it though. Love it. Love the way it looks.
So do I. And I've got one at home, the VX2000 from Dylan, but I just have never gone and used it yet because I've, you know, the restrictions of actually using it have stopped me from even getting it out.
Definitely.
Hobbies outside of scootering. What do you do?
Hobbies
do you even have
a
hobby outside of
The funny thing is, I'm so dedicated to scootering. Typically, you know, I don't find a lot of time to kind of like do other things, but I definitely do have hobbies. I was really into drawing when I was a lot younger. I loved doing that. I got pretty good at it for my age. Obviously, I stopped a lot, but definitely like just creating, doing like artistic kind of things, artwork, drawing, that kind of thing I like. But I do find myself having a lot of like mental like drawer blocks and stuff like that, so which kind of prevents me from getting too creative with it sometimes. Like a writer's block type
writer's block, but for drawing,
But I also just love just learning new things. I'm putting myself, especially recently, ever since I had my injury, I feel like that was a blessing in disguise because I'd never really put myself out of my comfort zone too much to try and learn stuff out of my skill set, but I really did do that this time, and there's just a lot of new things that I've kind of been looking into and interests that have been popping up from avenues that I've been taking a little bit, and I see stuff shaping, you know what I mean, as far as that kind of stuff, but anything really outdoorsy. So
you've got other things in your heads that you're learning about and stuff, and that keeps you going when you're not riding, just learning all that stuff.
Even just filming and video making and stuff. I feel like there are a lot of hobbies that that I've really grown to like.
Yeah.
That I don't really see as hobbies because they're within my hobby.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things within what I do now, my hobby, that I feel like are hobbies on their own. That
filming,
I've
editing,
skill for.
vlogging, the art stuff. There's so many so many things that make up scootering that can be their own whole hobbies. Even just you'd never have to leave scootering for a hobby because there's so many
within. Even just speaking to the camera and stuff like that, I could really see who knows down the track, but you know what I mean. That's really good skill for
Oh, for sure. You could start your own podcast that had nothing to do with scootering, and you would be such a good person for it. Podcasts or interviews. I've always thought, you could be a freaking TV host.
Imagine Saundezy in a movie.
Bro, would you try acting?
Why not?
I would.
I would, for sure. I think that'd be crazy.
Give us a, let's do it. Let's
100%.
No, give us a what's it called? Tryout then.
Okay.
Act.
Okay, give me something to go.
I'm trying to think of one for myself as well.
Okay.
Canberra, you're going to have to come from behind the camera. Give us a scene. We're going to do acting
Okay, a scene.
Yeah.
Great. Look, Dad, I've really just...
You can't do this.
Mr. Thompson, this school stuff just isn't working out for me, okay? I know exactly what I do. I know exactly what I want to do. I'm so passionate towards it, and there is going to be nothing that you can do or say that will stop me from achieving my dreams. What do you think about that, huh? 10 out of 10 or what?
Tiger Woods.
Bro, that snippet just there is enough that any Hollywood producer should be able to come to this dude and be like, yo, we got this movie lined up.
I'm your guy. If anyone's watching this out here,
I have.
Pick me.
I'm not even going to try and do mine. You just made me realise I don't think actually I could. We've done all the rapid fire questions. We're probably half an hour in. We're never going to try and do a whole, the whole life of Saundezy in one podcast because it's just there's not enough hours in the day to do that. We would literally need to sleep between takes. But I can flip that over now.
Oh, okay. Off the dome.
So this would take us to Baby DZ.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Baby DZ, but when earlier memories of your life as a scooter rider or extreme sports person starting to where it gets interesting at least, scootering or extreme sports or what take me to Baby DZ. Maybe not Baby DZ, 12-year-old, 11. When did you know that this was what you were going to do? Some people knew at 10 years old.
Honestly, yeah, I had so much love for it. Was just kind of doing it with friends at the start and stuff. And by the time I got into high school and stuff like that, it's kind of all I wanted to do.
What got you into scooters? Did you get one for Christmas randomly? Did you see someone at the skate park?
So I started riding scooters with my cousin Daniel, actually.
Yeah.
And he's kind of the one who got me into it. I remember he had a Razor Ultra Pro with these blunt bars and stuff like that, very, very OG. And I got a scooter to just ride around with him.
Yeah.
Because I always used to go over and spend time with my cousins and stuff when I was a lot younger, and we'd just go ride around at the local Manly Vale skate park. And I always remember riding this little cemetery that has a pump track around it.
Oh my god! I thought you were about to say you rode.
Yeah, I was riding the marble ledges in the cemetery and stuff, the gravestones. I'm joking.
That was pro cut. Cut this out.
No, so yeah, we're just riding around this little track that had some bumps in it. And I just remember practicing manuals and stuff like that. And then I guess that
practicing manuals from
the little 1 foot manuals with the brakes on and stuff.
Yeah. I'm just thinking it's funny because you're so good at manuals.
We all started somewhere. And then I think that transitioned into then me meeting some friends through primary school that rode scooters and stuff as well, and then I went doing it on weekends outside of school and stuff, and just started doing it with them. And then obviously I was in a because my dad was a really sporty person, and he pushed me to do like a lot of team sports and stuff like that. So obviously I was doing that like one day a week, and then had scootering to do the other day a week, and then it got to a point where I loved scootering so much I was getting into it more and more.
Like
and
no more soccer,
no more team sports.
What was it? Football, soccer?
I did a whole lot of stuff. I did football, soccer. Did a little bit of tennis.
Love a bit of tennis.
But
no golf.
No golf. Yeah, no.
No, sorry.
Unfortunately not, Ricky. Unfortunately not. But so then I made the decision just to. I'm sure my dad wasn't too happy with that, but I just canned the team sports. Wanted to ride all weekend, and then got into high school. Was still riding, and that's kind of like where the whole Kovu thing happened. Kind of like.
How old were you when I guess Kovu started to? And what is Kovu? What was it at that period of time? Well, can you give us because that's a big part of your I guess story. That's your crew.
Yeah. Well, I know Wes obviously was a professional park rider, and then
he's got a long.
Yeah, very long, longer than me.
History,
and then he got injured really bad, and then in that time of him being injured, he then started Kovu as a brand for the reason, obviously, to give the riders what they deserve and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because he himself had been like fucked over in the past, so that's one thing that he wanted to give back to people. So he created that. There was a lot of younger riders. The scene was a lot more popping back then in Sydney, so he kind of like had his eye out and scouted like people that he saw big potential in and riders that he liked the style of. Created a crew, kind of taught us all,
including yourself,
including myself and a bunch of others.
Who else at that time that you can think of?
There was Thankyou.
Yep.
Jack McCann was kind of already in it at that stage.
Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi. Jack Doubt was kind of around then, but he wasn't too in it at that stage.
Bit friendly, bit.
There was a
crew at the time,
bit of stuff going on there, and then like Christian Upton, Chi.
When
Benny
we were
Gaylord.
doing stuff with Root,
Yeah.
we hooked him up.
Yeah, that's right.
He was the man.
Benny
and Gaylord,
Benny Gaylord, big crew, iconic. A lot of people watching this would remember that crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, iconic for sure. And then I guess honestly, big credit to Wes because he told us all what we needed to do, what to the avenues to take, how to market ourselves and stuff like that.
He was a big help in the earlier years and later
to
years
teach me things. Definitely to teach me what I needed to know.
So he mentored you a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Got to give a lot of credit to him for that for sure. And then I'd say at the stage that I was about 16 when I came into year 10, and it was either I commit for the last 2 years or drop out and get a trade or something like that. And I was making money off signature parts at that stage, but I was not making any
signature
solid
parts.
Not signature parts. Sorry, I had my signature
bucket hat,
and then the grip tape with rip
So
off.
you're doing some stuff, seeing potential in Scootering.
Seeing potential. Phoenix came about, and I remember Wes became the team manager in Australia for Phoenix, and then he put myself, Blake Clearahan, and Wilson Thomas on the team. And Blake Clearahan
was doing Kovu, Ripper, and then working for Phoenix and building all that together.
And he was on the team as well.
I do remember that time.
And then some crazy stuff happened in the scene. People got the wrong idea.
People had beef.
It's
crazy that
just a lot of stuff was going on.
It's not hip hop.
Yeah. For a small sport, there's a lot of stuff going on.
You can't have beef there. I feel like there hasn't been for a long time. But that was definitely a weird, bad stain on just the scene at that time. But anyway,
But I was getting a little monthly payment from Phoenix at that point.
Okay, so that's starting to get paid,
and
not just from the homies thing, but from this company,
as a salary,
this company from overseas, this brand, would have seemed maybe bigger. I mean, no disrespect on Kovu and Ripper, but Phoenix, biggest brand in
definitely,
and at that time, especially the biggest brand in one of the biggest brands, huge,
definitely, and
big, you're 16 at that time.
Yeah.
You reckon? Yeah.
Oh, actually,
15, 16.
I was younger. Yeah, I would have been so I think they actually sent me a scooter. It was on the low. We weren't officially announced for a bit. We were making video parts and stuff. But they sent me a sequel complete probably when I was 14 or 15. I'd say is when I got on. I can't remember exactly, but
I remember you were rail flat 50 backlit to sugar to back to 270 to lip to like you were killing that like style.
100%.
Just like,
yeah, the jibby kind of like stuff.
Bro,
for
I don't
sure.
even care. At that time, I was like, before people started calling people out for lock-ins and shit like that, I was like, I saw you doing that, and I was like, spinning around on rails like crazy.
100%. Dancing.
Rail dancing.
Yeah.
Like ledge dancing. Used to be ledge dancing and
Yeah.
mainly European riders, and then in Australia, rail dancing started.
100% became a thing. But
rail ballet.
Yeah. I remember actually when I first. This is after I'd already left school, so I'm pretty sure I just left school, started doing TAFE. I actually can't remember my thought process if I realized what was going on and stuff. I think I was just living in the moment, doing my thing, trusting the process. Yeah. Just
Do you think at the time you were consciously that onto it? Trusting the process, because that's something people come to later in life. I
think I was to some degree, but
spiritual understanding of
it's
where they're at.
Yeah, it's interesting because I really think. I just went out on a limb, sent it without realizing what could have potentially backfired. You know what I mean? Like, let's be realistic.
You just knew what you had to do and wanted to do.
It's like without knowing what I wanted to do, I just knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the path that it just took me.
Yeah.
And so I remember leaving school, and I remember going to TAFE one day, and I saw that I officially got paid this amount of money per month as a salary, and then I remember at that point I was in a barista course. I was almost getting my barista certificate.
I'm laughing because I did one once.
Long time ago. Yeah, I was making coffees.
Spoiler alert, I'm not a barista.
And then I remember they were making me do work experience outside of the course. So work as a dishwasher. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like doing that, taking away time from riding too. And this is when it was starting to pick up and get a little more serious. I was going on like family trips, because obviously I'm half American, to see like family twice a year.
Didn't even cover that, but
I forgot to leave that out. And then obviously when I got on Phoenix and they're American, those family trips then started turning into traveling trips. And there was a point where I was just like, I just got out of the TAFE course because I didn't want to take any more time away from my riding and stuff like that. And this was obviously at the times, I believe, like me and Wes were doing Saundezy sessions, so there were like big things going on and stuff.
Blowing up.
This literally.
Is the time what you're saying right now is the time that you like realize, and everyone else realizes, like, this is something.
100%.
This is a bit bigger than like just riding on a scooter for fun. Even though it's still for fun, like
definitely.
That's when you like hit a level.
But it's weird because I almost feel like I was just doing it for fun. Like I feel like I was very young then to realize and think in the future and stuff like that. I was just living in the moment, having fun, and that's where you reap the benefits from. You know what I mean? Just doing it for the love of it and just the enjoyment of, you know what I mean, the whole thing. And then
that's especially when it's best too, when you're so deeply in it that even if you are, getting money and stuff like that, when you're that age, you normally have some kind of setup, obviously through helping your parents and stuff, that money is such a smaller
it was a
part of your life that you can just go so deep into something like.
It was less of a worry for me, so I was just more inclined just to be like, I
remember hearing a thing. I think I've asked you this before. I'm not sure if we were on camera when I asked you. I can't even remember if I actually asked you, but I heard that at that time in your life, you said you made a deal with your mum or made a deal with yourself that if you dropped out, because you're talking about dropping out of school? Or just TAFE? You'd already dropped out of school?
I had already dropped out of school and I was doing TAFE with a few days on the...
When you dropped out of school or when you dropped out of TAFE, you said, if I drop out, I'm going to ride every day. I promise myself I'm going to ride every day. Is that a real thing? Is that a thing that you thought and said at the time? I don't know. Someone told me this years ago and it just always stuck with me.
No, definitely. Like I knew that, like, obviously, like the more time I had, the more time I could ride. So I think that's how I was thinking about it. So it was like, I had so much time to ride, so I'm going to ride all this time. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to let myself like just sit around and be a bum a few days, you know what I mean?
You weren't trying to leave school TAFE for nothing.
Exactly.
You were trying to leave because you were like, I can't go here and do this for a day when I could be riding for a day. Like,
it just didn't compute in my head, you know what I mean?
No, bro, I'm relating with you so hard.
Of course.
Now. Back at 100%.
Definitely.
school's not for everyone, but education is. But even that being said, there's a lot of people out there that could benefit from like hearing what you just said, and like, yeah, maybe school isn't for you, maybe TAFE isn't for you, maybe you need to find it, whether it's scootering, whatever it is, and just fucking go in.
Exactly.
Like,
that's how I see it, and I always see
it
it as
like it's worked out
this
pretty
is
well
how I see it
for
as
you.
and this is how I see it as well. You know, like you're only young for so long, you can always learn shit. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be time, like if you want to go take a course. You can be any
age and go back to like TAFE.
You can be 80 and go learn a TAFE course. You know what I mean?
You can't necessarily be 80.
Oh, you literally can't?
No.
Okay,
I was about to say for scootering, you can't be 80 and be like, I'm gonna learn how to do kink rails this year. Like if you're 80, you're probably a little bit too old.
Yeah.
50? Yeah, I could see a 50-year-old doing it. You know, in 20 years' time, I hope I'm fucking kink rail. But yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. So that is getting into
kind of the storyline up to like where I had left school and now I'm like
joined Phoenix. So you got on Ripper, got on Kovu, Saundezy session, blowing up. Is your YouTube channel started yet?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
He hasn't even started his YouTube channel yet. He's pro for Phoenix, flying in and out of America, filming. So I guess this is when you started the Saundezy Volume 1, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah, first one, Phoenix? Yeah.
That would have been around the time.
Yeah, that's coming up soon. We're nearly at that.
100%, yeah.
And we're going to have to cut it there, and I think we're going to have to call this our, part 1, because we've hit our kind of hour or close to or just over. Kai's expecting the phone call. He's a busy man. He's got things to do.
What can I say?
I hope you guys got something from that. I hope people have been asking for Kai a lot. He is here. We are not even getting started. I reckon we've got 5 episodes. I reckon this, by the time we're done, this is going to be a 5-hour episode, and it may take us a year to do all those episodes.
There's a lot of story to tell.
This story is still being written.
It's only still writing itself, basically.
Yeah, you're writing it.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Of course, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Until next time. Thanks to Cam behind the camera and audio.
You're the man, Cam.